Hello guys, I'm with my favorite president, the best president of all time.
Donald Trump, he gets to hang out with young and have 50 different wives and just...
Samuel L. Jackson on Trump. I've never been on.
Nicki Minaj is getting roasted from every direction imaginable. And if we're being brutally honest, she set the match herself. The backlash is loud, relentless, and coming from all corners. And now, the newest voice adding fuel to the fire is none other than Samuel L. Jackson. And if you know anything about him, you know he does not mince words. According to Samuel, Nicki has absolutely no clue what she's stepping into. He's warning that she's blind to the fact that Donald Trump and the MAGA machine are exploiting her for optics. They aren't embracing her, they're mocking her. And she's smiling through it, completely unaware. Fame is one thing. Public humiliation is another. And Samuel's message is clear. She better snap out of it before the damage is permanent. First, and yes, let's clear our throats on this one. Let's be crystal clear. Samuel L. Jackson has never been, and will never be, a Trump supporter. He's been loudly anti-Trump for years. He's slammed Trump publicly, shredded his policies, and used language sharp enough to leave scorch marks. That's just how Samuel operates. At one point, he even encouraged people to call Trump exactly what he thought he was. After Representative Rashida Tlaib referred to Trump as a motherfucker and called for impeachment, Samuel jumped online to back her up. He wrote that he fully endorsed her word choice and her intention, saying calling Trump a motherfucker wasn't the problem, calling him president was. He even added that the insult was too good to waste on someone so toxic. Samuel didn't stop there. In interviews, he accused Trump of actively destroying the planet. And when it came to celebrities who stayed silent, Samuel had a message for them too. Silence equals complicity. More recently, when black celebrities like Snoop Dogg, Nelly, and now Nicki Minaj started flirting with Trump-aligned spaces, Samuel was asked directly by the Daily Beast if his stance had softened. His answer was immediate and ruthless. Trump, in his eyes, is still the worst thing to happen to American politics. And as for black celebrities endorsing him, Samuel said they're either scared, greedy, or willing to degrade themselves for a paycheck. He explained that growing up under segregation taught him exactly how racism looks, and Trump reminded him
Nicki makes a lot of cash. Not as much as Michael Dell, not quite. Not as much, but that's okay. But Nicki makes
is this entire situation going all the way over Nicki Minaj's brain and her spidey senses as the whole room just laughed at her and she thinks they're laughing with.
It's almost disturbing how oblivious she seems to the fact that everyone in that room views her as decoration, a disposable symbol, not a peer. And what makes it even darker is that the very Republicans she's now bending over backward to please are the same ones who openly trashed her when she wasn't useful to them. Look no further than Charlie Kirk as a perfect example. He spent years tearing her down, publicly framing her as a corrupting influence on young girls, long before she ever tried to sit at their table.
Black culture is being held captive by influences, songs, and role models. I mean, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B.
Okay, Nicki Minaj is causing dads to leave the home.
Hold on, I don't think that's a good role model for 18-year-old.
But jump to the present, and the whiplash is unreal. Nicki is suddenly rubbing shoulders with Erica Kirk, parroting some of the most unhinged MAGA rhetoric imaginable. Let's pause and really process this. When, in the history of ever, has a conservative white woman stood up and told white girls to stop making black girls feel small for being black? Exactly. It doesn't happen. Ever. And yet, that's the role Nicki has willingly stepped into. While on stage at America Fest alongside Erica Kirk, she launched into a surreal rant about black girls supposedly disrespecting blonde, blue-eyed white girls, framing white girls as the real victims, claiming their beauty is being erased, minimized, and unfairly attacked. The irony was suffocating. The room didn't flinch. The cameras kept rolling. And Nicki doubled down, delivering talking points that didn't even belong to her, like she'd forgotten who they were really written for.
We were not being represented and not being admired for our beauty. If we felt like that as black women, why would we want to do that to other women?
Amen.
Why would we now need to make other people downplay their beauty so that we can feel, no, that's not how it works. I don't need someone with blonde hair and blue eyes to downplay their beauty because
Let's pause for a moment and really sit with how unhinged this sounds. At what point in the history of the United States has blonde hair, music, blue eyes, and white femininity ever been dismissed, erased, or treated as lesser, that look has been glorified, protected, and crowned as the gold standard for generations. And yet here's Nicki, spinning a narrative where white girls are suddenly oppressed and overlooked because of their appearance. Then again, embarrassment clearly isn't her weakness, because everything she's done recently feels like one endless, public humiliation loop she keeps volunteering for.
Men, you have amazing role models like our handsome, dashing president.
It's honestly hard to even tell what's going on with Nicki at this point, because we all remember when she was openly anti-Trump, calling him evil and dragging his immigration policies. But fast forward to now, and it's a complete 180. Not only is Nicki sucking up to Trump, but she's sucking up to everybody around him. Just the other day, she was on X congratulating Trump advisor Alex Brewitz on getting married and wrote, "Congratulations to my dear friend Alex Brewitz and his beautiful wife Carolina on getting married today." My dear friend? Seriously, let's be real. Nicki probably didn't even know who this man was 5 minutes ago. And now she's praising every random MAGA figure and claiming they're all her friends. By the way, the same Alex Brewitz that Nicki claims as his dear friend has been openly made weird statements, music, for years. Brewitz is the one who hired a comedian who called Puerto Pico a floating island of garbage. And let's not forget that Nicki's from Trinidad and Tobago. So, does she really think these MAGA folks actually respect her? We all know exactly how they feel about her behind closed doors. Just like Samuel L. Jackson said in that interview, "When I see Trump, I see the same rednecks I saw when I was growing up who tried to keep me in my place." But clearly, Nicki refuses to see music this. Instead, she's out here auditioning for approval from people who wouldn't shed a tear if she vanished music tomorrow. So, is Nicki just uninformed or ignorant about the political game, and she can't see that the MAGA crowd hates her? But if that were true, how do we explain her anti-Trump stance during his first presidency? Music, she was publicly criticizing him as recently as 2020, calling out his policies and behavior. That doesn't sound like someone completely unaware, so something clearly changed. Now, some people are speculating that Nicki compromised in some way, and that MAGA has leverage over her. It could even be tied to her husband and brother, who are both convicted rapists. Music, one is on the ex-offenders registry and has to actively maintain his...
Dave, Jelani Mirage showed no emotion as the verdict was read. He was found guilty, as you mentioned, of predatory sexual assault against a child. He's facing 25 years to life in prison. In the moments before the verdict, Jelani Mirage's attorney says Mirage felt confident that he would be acquitted of all charges. But minutes later, Mirage's mother, Carol, walked out of the courtroom alone with only their attorney. Prosecutors say Mirage in 2015 repeatedly had with his then 11-year-old stepdaughter. They say he threatened the girl if she didn't comply.
So, knowing who Nicki's family is and who she picked as the father of her child, maybe it's not that surprising she identifies with the MAGA crowd now. Or maybe she's just desperate for relevance and attention. She hasn't had a major hit in years. And aligning with Trump and his circle guarantees visibility. Either way, whether it's ignorance, coercion, or desperation, Nicki made her choice. And as far as her fans are concerned, there's no coming back from this. One former fan said, "I don't want to hear it when that man is out of office," and she tries to do a 180 and get her audience back. Grifting is not a sustainable career choice. And someone else wrote, "This is really the end of Nicki Minaj's career. There's no coming back from this. RIP to the queen of rap." But let's hear your theories on all this. What do you think is really going on with Nicki? Music. How does someone go from publicly hating Trump to going full MAGA? Do you agree with Samuel L. Jackson that Nicki can't even see that those Republicans would throw her under the bus in a second? And is this about desperation for relevance, pressure because of her husband and brother, or is Nicki finally showing her true face? Drop all your thoughts below in the comment section, and stay tuned for the next video.